Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. I hope you are all doing well today. I am here to do part 2 of my May wrap-up. I didn't read a ton of books to end May. I don't know if the same is going on for you guys, but work has been kicking my butt. So I only was able to read 4 more books than the original book haul I did, or I'm sorry, book wrap-up that I did in part 1. So it's going to be a quick video today, but I do want to do one thing. I want to remind you all of something. I said this ages ago in my first video, so if you've been around, you know how much I adored the Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry. I will link my first video down below where I talk about how amazing this book is, and you should all read it. If you didn't watch that video, this is sort of a Victorian story set in the late 1800s. It's about a woman named Cora who is suddenly widowed from a bad relationship, and she goes to the city of Essex and she gets involved in a sort of search for this mythological creature that is supposedly torturing the town. She meets a pastor who she has sort of this friendship enemy frenemy thing going on with. It is one of the best books I've read, and guess what? It comes out in America in the next couple weeks. So I told you all in my first video I would let you know it was coming, and it is coming. So take a look around your bookstore for it. Please go pick it up. If you've read it already, I want to hear about it. If you get it and you read it, I hope you guys love it. I adored it. So that's the first part. It's not part of my wrap-up, but I wanted to make sure you guys knew it was out there and ready for you guys the first couple weeks of June. And if you don't follow Sarah Perry on Twitter or Instagram, I recommend you do. She is just adorable. So there you go. The first book that I read after my last book wrap-up was The 12 Lives of Samuel Hawley by Hannah Tinti. I'm really excited. Hannah Tinti is coming to the Bay Area Book Festival, which is this weekend in Berkeley, California, and I am going to get to see her. You'll remember when I hauled this book, I showed you guys how beautiful the hardcover is. It is gorgeous. And let me tell you, the book lives up to the cover, and it lives up to everything. I was told about this book by Michael Kindness of Books of the Nightstand fame. This is the story of two people, Samuel Hawley, who is the father figure, and his daughter Lou. The story kind of takes place in 2 parts. Lou and her father have been on the run because he has a criminal history, and at the start of the book they finally settle down in the hometown of Lou's mother. You learn very, very soon at the beginning of the book that Lou's mother has passed away, and her father have kind of been everything for each other. They never stay anywhere long, and he's decided to settle down in this town where his wife was from. So it's kind of a teenage coming-of-age story. Lou has never had to deal with going to a high school longer than a few months, for a year maybe, and she has to get used to the town. She has to get used to the history. She meets her grandmother. There's all of sort of this thing that she's now in a town who knew her mother, and she didn't really know her mother because she passed away when she was very young. It is also told in alternating chapters where Hannah Tinti tells you about the 12 gunshot wounds that Samuel Hawley has. And he got them through his criminal history, most of them. And every chapter kind of interspersed tells you how he got into that line of work, and also how he met Lou's mom, their relationship. It's all told in these flashbacks that talks about these gunshot wounds. It is really good. It is beautifully written. The characters will stick with you. I just adored it. I highly, highly recommend it. I'm so excited to meet her. If you like books about fathers and daughters learning how to live with each other, also having a really deep connection and not knowing really what it's based on, but as you learn more, it develops that relationship. It's really good. There's lots of really cool side characters. The little town is cute. She's just so good at describing everything. I really, really, really love this book. So that's The 12 Lives of Samuel Hawley by Hannah Tinti. And if you are in the Bay Area, I would love to hear about it. And if you want to go on Saturday, she's actually doing a talk at 10 o'clock at Berkeley. I'll be there, so hopefully I'll see some of you there. The next book I read was actually the first book I got when I joined Book of the Month Club a few months ago, and that's Perfect Little World by Kevin Wilson. And when I hauled this book, I told you I read Kevin Wilson's first book, The Family Thing, and I actually really enjoyed it. And it turns out Kevin Wilson sort of has this fascination with the idea of family. Sorry, kicked my stand a little wobbly there for a minute. And this book is no different. It's kind of different ways of defining what a family is. Perfect Little World is set in modern day, and it's basically about this commune that is set up to try to, and I use the word commune loosely, it is about a doctor who has this idea that if children are raised by a group of parents and all together, they will grow up and exceed expectations and become better people and learn faster. And the main character is Izzy. Izzy is a single mother. She has an affair with her high school art teacher, gets pregnant. He doesn't want to have anything to do with the baby. She signs up for this program and gets accepted, and there are 9 other couples, and she's the only single. And everybody has their baby and shows up there. And it's about the relationships between the adults, and it's about the relationships they have with all of the children and growing up. Izzy's 19 when she comes in, maybe 19, maybe younger, maybe 18, when she joins. And so she's becoming an adult, becoming a mother, becoming part of a group as they raise these children. It's about this idea of children having more than one avenue to go for love, for support, for education. It's really a powerful story about how no one can define family for you other than yourself. And what's really fascinating is that it's really about how the adults can't deal with this type of family, and the children just sort of flock to it. So it's kind of like sometimes our preconceived notions about the world can affect us no matter our intentions. It's not, I wouldn't say that it's beautifully written. It's very straightforward writing. There's nothing you're going to quote so much in this, but it's a good story, and it's an interesting idea, and it will leave you thinking about family and people and the differences of ways to raise children and what to give them. So I really liked it. I would say it's a solid 3.5, 4 stars. I read it quickly and I enjoyed it. So that's Perfect Little World by Kevin Wilson. The next book I am going to tell you about was actually an audiobook that I listened to, and that is, oh, hold on, let me see if this will work. Because it's an audiobook, I'm pulling it up on my iPad, and that's Norse Mythology by Neil Gaimen. I listened to the audiobook, which Neil reads to you, and I have to say this was not my cup of tea. One, Neil starts the book by telling you that there's not a lot of known information about Norse mythology. So it's a thin layer of information that he's going to create and develop these myths on. And the problem with that is that all the characters stay very flat. Thor is strong but not that smart. Loki is clever, will get in trouble, get out of trouble. And it's that same sort of thing over and over again. It's kind of like a short story collection because they're all different myths with the same people connected through. But it's the one thing that's known about that god becomes sort of their characteristic that you can rely on hearing a ton about. I kind of got bored and I didn't really care because no one was developing or changing or growing. And I know that that may not be the point of a myth. A myth is more or less to explain something, to give rise to an idea of why the world is the way that it is. And I understand that, and I think I appreciated that. But as a story, as a collection of stuff that I was reading, when no one changed or no one grew, it became very one note for me. I love Neil Gaiman. I would highly recommend The Graveyard Book. If you haven't read that, it's a middle grade book. It's fantastic. I've read American Gods and The Nancy Boys. I love them. The Brief Ocean at the End of the Lane, I think that's the name of it. I can never remember the title of that one. Great. I truly, truly think he's an amazing author, but this one just didn't sit for me, and it may have been the subject matter. I do think he's a great reader, and if you like just to be kind of lulled into a world, he can definitely do that for you. But this just didn't do it for me. I wouldn't really recommend it to anyone unless Norse mythology is really where your sweet spot is. Then maybe it would be for you. But it didn't work for me. I just started listening to Literary Disco. Did an episode on Norse mythology. I'll link it below for you guys. They have very different opinions about it as well. So I'll link that below. They use a lot of the F word though. So if you're not into that, stay away. But they're all very smart, and they all talk about it, and they talk about oral tradition and mythology and stuff, and it's very educating, and that's more interesting to me than actually the book was. So that was Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. Okay, and then the last book that I read and finished in May was Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. I talked to you guys about this in a haul. Simon over at Savage Reads has sent me Hannah Kent's second book, which is The Good People. I'll haul it in a little bit. I have so many books from the last month. I'm trying to break them up, and it is a gorgeous book. But she's written 2 novels, and I wanted to read her first one. And Burial Rites was worth every minute. This is the story of Agnes, and I can't say her last name, so I won't even try. It's set in Iceland at the end of the 1800s. Is it the end of the 1800s? It's definitely placed in the 1800s. I don't know if I know the actual year. Hold on, let me see. The beginning of the 1800s, like the 1820s, 1830s. And it's the story of a woman who has been convicted of murder. Her and another woman and a man supposedly stabbed and killed 2 men and set their house on fire. And the book is about the idea that because, I guess, Iceland is ruled by Denmark, the death penalty has been appealed up to Denmark. So while they're waiting to figure out whether or not that penalty is going to hold, Agnes is sent out to the country where she actually was born and grew up to live with a family until her death. And the book kind of talks about the relationship she creates with that family, how the perception of this woman, and it's still so prevalent that a woman who is smart and free-thinking must have something up her sleeve. And this book talks about how just because of that, people don't think that she could be innocent. And it's fascinating, and I think that it's one of those awful misconceptions about strong, powerful women. We saw it with Hillary Clinton in the last election. It's not gone away. So I think the book still holds such a timely message. Also, it's about family and what creates a family, what creates a relationship. It is beautifully written. It does get a bit slow towards the end and then picks back up. So that's why it's a 4 and not a 5-star for me. It did get a little bit slow, but the characters are great. If you liked Alias Grace by Margaret Atwood, I think you'd really like this book. It had a lot of that same feel to me. I am so excited to read her next book, but when I told Simon I was reading this one, he said I couldn't read them twice in a row, so I'm going to take a break. But I highly recommend this backlist book by Hannah Kent called Burial Rites. I know a lot of people saw me post it on Twitter and said that they loved it, so if you haven't, please pick it up. If it's on your shelf and you've been meaning to, it's time. It's so good. That's Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. So that's all I've read to finish the month. I think I read like a total of 13 books this month, so that's good. Heavy on the first half, not so heavy on the second half. I hope everyone is doing great. I would love to hear from you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please subscribe. If you're back, I'm glad to hear from you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!